Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hello. It's that time again.
Yes, it is. We're excited.
Yes, we are. Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Bernard jumps on here and I am the apprentice, and we learn all things financial, education, money matters, and he is our financial coach. And we are live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. The Army Empire Podcast does have a YouTube. Just go to the YouTube channel and you're going to type up at the top at the search bar, the Army Empire Podcast, and you'll be able to see all of the podcasts. We made it to episode 50, and I decided to go live on my personal Facebook page because I've learned so much that I just have to share this with my friends and my family. So Bernard, what are we going to be learning about today?
Oh, wow. It's very exciting. As you know, we talked about last week, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And we've been doing a couple episodes, going back a little bit, talk about some initial episodes that we've done on life insurance in the beginning, and kind of give a different perspective on that. Maybe break it down a little bit more, different perspective. And that's why we wanted to go over a couple of things. So by the way, it's crazy that you mentioned that everything's on YouTube. We happened to went to an event this past weekend, and one of the young gentlemen, he was asking me a question about faith and business, right? How does that work? And thank God we did about 3 episodes on that. So I said, listen, and go back. I gave him the episodes, and he got so much out of it. And that's why it's so important what we're doing, just giving a resource for if someone has questions about this, questions about different topics. Let's go back to the episode. Just look at that episode, and you'll get some good perspective on that.
Yes, so, I love that you've gathered, because of all of the education that you've provided for us about marriage and money, women and money, like life insurance, our IRAs, and just so many different things of investments and stuff. You have a catalog of topics that now you can share with other people.
Absolutely. So it was good. So it felt good. The fact that I can go back, because I was about to going to go over everything with him, but like, you know what? It's better if you go look at the podcast, go back. So I sent him the links of the podcast. So he was excited.
Excellent. What's the topic?
We could talk about life insurance also, right? It's like part 2. We do what's right, part 2. And one thing we've always done, and we talk, one thing we pride ourselves, and 27 years in the field, it's just doing what's right 100% of the time. Whenever we sit down with a consumer, doing what's right for them, make sure they're educated, make sure you always put them first ahead of anything else. And we showed last week, like a lot of people in the industry, for example, especially life insurance or investment, they put themselves ahead of the consumer. And that's what's happened, which is not good, which is creating major challenges in people's financial lives right now. So let's talk about we do what's right. And let's talk about exactly what's happened when it comes to life insurance. In other words, right, which is things like happening for us. So let's look at the first slide. Let's talk about protection. There's a major crisis on life insurance protection out there. Check this out. Nearly 48% of Americans have no life insurance coverage whatsoever. 48%. That's almost half the population has no life insurance whatsoever. So that means for a lot of people, some of them are not young kids, are not people that are older. A lot of them, sometimes they have families. They might be married. You'd be surprised. So many, I come across even to this day, so many families, like husbands, wives, married, they have responsibilities, they have mortgages, they have different things that they're responsible for, and they have no life insurance whatsoever, which is a major crisis out there, right?
Correct.
Exactly. And the other fact is more than 4 adults in the US not having enough life insurance coverage, or not having enough, it's not enough insurance coverage or whatsoever, or none whatsoever. So if you think about that, right? Most people, the biggest mistake they make, they're depending on group life insurance, right?
Mhm.
They're doing group life where you don't have enough coverage because they have something to their job, and it's never enough. And we'll talk about that on more episodes, right? And on top of that, the ones that do have life insurance have very little coverage. They have the wrong kind, right? And we talked about last week, right? What's better, right? Is give a life insurance a little bit more money and get more coverage, which is better, right? And the option is different. That means a lot of people are paying too much money and not enough coverage. That means they are over premiumed and underprotected.
Correct, which is what we mentioned last week.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about the benefits. Let's just bring clarity more. What are the benefits of life insurance, and how much life insurance should somebody actually need, right? So let's talk about the 4 major benefits of life insurance. Now, there's a lot of things out there. People will try to use life insurance, sell life insurance with different, oh, it's supposed to do this, retirement. No, I'm going to break it down very simple. There's only 4 major benefits of life insurance.
Mhm.
Okay. 4 benefits. The first one is for final expenses, right? One thing that's two guarantees in life is death and taxes, right? 2 guarantees, like number 1 is we're all going to pass away one day. It's going to happen. I know a lot of us lived and we're going to live forever, right? And the second thing is we got to pay taxes, right? It's just 2 things that are guaranteed, right? So think about we all know our date of birth, but the challenge is we don't know the date of death. Let's just call it what it is. So final expenses are one of the benefits, right? And that's not the only. A lot of people think life insurance just for funeral purposes. No, that's one aspect of it. And let's take a look at it. Average funeral costs about $10,000 to $15,000 on average, right? $10,000 to $15,000 on average. So if you think about that, right, it's very hard. And we talk about there's all surveys out there that most people, about 50-60% of people out there, that if they had an emergency, they couldn't get their hands on $1,000.
Right.
Right? A lot of people get $1,000. So think about that, right? And when someone passes away, then how do you find $10,000 to $15,000 for the final expenses?
Come on, talk to us.
It's very, very hard. So think about that's why you have so much GoFundMe's out there, right? Things like GoFundMe that people actually use for which is not good. Okay. GoFundMe. I mean, every time out there you see a post, GoFundMe, can you please? And it's bad, but it's more. There's like hundreds of thousands, almost millions of GoFundMe because people passed away, right? So final expenses is one of the major challenges. Is one of the benefits of life insurance, right? Final expenses. That's one. Okay, it's better for most people. You can get very little. You can get life insurance for average person. If they get just the minimum, if you're between 25 to let's say 50, 65, you can get 15, 25,000, right? If that's the case, for less than $1 a day, for 15, 20, $25 or $30 max.
Yep.
That's in the bare minimum. So think about it. It's better to pay a couple of dollars extra a month than try to come up with 10, 15, 20,000 just like that.
Right.
Right. So final expenses is one aspect. The second benefit of life insurance is it's called income replacement, right? Let's talk about income replacement. What does that actually mean? That means when someone, let's say you work, you're making 50, 60, 70, $100,000 a year. And that paycheck that you're making goes to take care of your family, pays for the bills, pays for the mortgage, pays for food, pay for all the expenses, right? Think about it. God forbid something happened to you, that income stops coming into the family. That 50, 60, 70, 100,000 stops coming to the family. But the challenge is the bills don't stop coming in. The mortgage doesn't stop. Your mortgage still has to get paid.
Correct.
Kids still have to eat. Nothing changes, right? So income replacement. So what happens when someone passes away? There's 2 deaths that happen. There's a physical death, someone passed away, and there's also a financial death. The paycheck also goes with the person. Makes sense? So that's a major, major challenge. See, what life insurance allows you to do, you have to have the right amount of life, allows you to replace your income.
This
right?
is so good because I have Jennifer on Instagram and she's saying, I used to only think it was for number one, that life insurance was specifically for final expenses. And usually that's the mentality, that's the mindset that the general public has, is that you're
Mhm.
getting life insurance to take care of your burial expenses. And that's
Exactly.
it. But there's more to it than that. There's layers. And this is what we're talking about today.
Absolutely. It's income replace. So a life insurance, if you have the right amount, allows you to replace your income. So it allows for you to have the same financial impact on
Mm,
your family. Because what we do, we have financial impact on our families. That's what we do when we work, right? So it allows you to have the same financial impact on your family, whether you are there or not. Okay. So the goal, see, you may not be physically there for your family, but the goal is to be financially there for them.
right.
Right. See, when you have the right, I want you to picture this, right? And we don't think about it. I want you to picture it. Something happens. Let's say you pass away. God forbid someone passes away. Let's say if you have kids, you have a wife, husband taken care of. I want you to think about that paycheck is coming in the account every single month, no matter what. So I want you to think about your family. Think about now they're mourning you. Number one, they are mourning you because they lost someone close, someone you love. But what happens because you left something, because you made sure something was coming to family before. Now they don't have to worry about money. The impact you have is awesome. They'll say, well, this person, mom and dad, may not be here, but they took care of us.
Right.
It was there for
It
us.
it helps the grieving process too, to not
Yes,
have that
yes,
extra
yes,
layer of stress, and yeah, I
yes.
get it. Mhm.
Absolutely. And the crazy, and there was someone that said something very powerful. He says, widows and widowers have to come back that have no life insurance. They have to come back to see the devastation they left behind,
Mm,
the hurt left behind. And I've seen stories, I've seen challenges where someone passed through unfortunate, and the family had to go through hurdles. Had to go through to think about it. You work so hard to build something for your family, and all of a sudden, because something
mm.
minor, all of a sudden your family has to suffer the consequences. It's just crazy to happen. So income replacement is a part of it. That's one of the benefits of life insurance also,
Heavy.
to make sure to replace your income, to think
Mhm.
about that, right? The third thing is a call of having some kind of terminal illness benefit, right? Some kind of benefit. That's one of the benefits of life insurance also. Listen, there's a lot of people right now, let's just call it what it is. A lot of people, probably 30, 40, 50% population, a lot of time I get diagnosed with cancer. It's just a reality that happens in life right now. As
Mhm.
crazy as it might be, but this is a reality. Now, I want you to picture when someone, let's say, God forbid, someone gets a terminal illness, there's a couple of things that happen, right? So think about it. Sometimes they can't work. They can't go to work because they're going to treatments and it's very heavy. I mean, it's taking a toll on them. But guess what? They still have to be able to take care of certain things, right? And
Mhm.
what happens is when a plan has a terminal illness benefit, a lot of times a lot of companies, they allow you to take a percentage of proceeds up front. So
Is that a clause in
yeah,
the life insurance?
it's in the plan.
Ah,
Not all of them have it, but the one I recommend have a terminal illness benefit. What allows you, for example, if someone has $100,000 of coverage, they can take between $40,000 and $70,000 up front. So you don't
mm,
have to wait to pass away. So you can actually use some of the money up front for example, anything you might have. For example, sometimes people want to do alternative treatments. It's just a fact that happens. Sometimes we seen listen, and I've seen it happen time and time again. Because a
yeah.
lot of times is people don't want to go to a traditional method of like chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. A lot of times they're in a situation which takes sometimes it's this question. It might help someone, might take a big toll on some people also, right?
Right,
There's a lot
right.
of alternative treatments. If someone goes to Ridges, they'll say we can't do anything for you, right? There's a lot of alternative treatments that cost money. They're not covered to
Mhm,
health insurance. They cost sometimes 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 250. How many people have that kind of money laying around?
mhm.
Right? Think about it. So you can actually take some proceeds. So you know what? I want to look at different options. I want to get alternative treatment. So you have that option that you can use that for alternative treatments if you want to. Now, there's no guarantees that though is going to work, but guess what? It gives you a shot.
Right.
Listen,
let me see some fire emojis if you did not know this and you are just now finding this out, that you can have a clause for terminal illness and that you can take out money, a percentage of some sort with that. So if this is something completely brand new and this is blowing your mind, fire emoji it up, because that's really good information.
Absolutely. So you can be able to use some of the proceeds up front. And listen, I've had over 3 situations I've known people that were terminally ill that didn't, some of them stage 4, they didn't give them like a 6 months, a year. And because they were able to tap into that clause, they went and got alternative treatments. And guess what? 5 years later, 10 years later, what they're still alive. They're still with us. So just to have that option is worth it.
Right.
Just be able to have that just be able to say, you know what? I want to be able, listen, I think about, there's not anyone that if you have your loved one, right, that if you could extend your loved one's life by 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, there's not any one of us that would say, man, I wish I could have my loved one next year 5, 10 years. It's worth it, whatever it might be, right? It's so important to have that terminal illness benefit. That's the third benefit. The fourth benefit is called like creating a legacy for your family, creating generational wealth. And we are called to do that. You know, think about the Bible talks about it. I like to quote that verse, which is Proverbs 13:22. It says, a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children. So what happens is life insurance is one of the most cost-effective way to transfer generational wealth to your beneficiaries, to your kids and your grandkids. It's so cookie cutter. And most listen, there's a major, and check this out, there's a major wealth disparity between different cultures. I'm telling you, there's a major wealth disparity between different cultures out there, unfortunately. Right? The major disparity where some cultures, they make sure in their mind, they're always thinking about the next generation.
So good. Yep.
They're thinking about the kids, the grandkids, everything they do, they make sure, how do we make sure that the kids and the grandkids are a better situation? Where there's different cultures, they're not thinking about that. So every generation starts from scratch. They pass away, it starts from scratch. It starts from scratch. So life insurance is the most cost-effective way to create generational wealth. Having around a mile, generational wealth. Why? Because you pay a little bit and get so much. Life insurance is the only insurance out there that you can get that once you're approved, right, you're in, as long as you pay the premiums, they can never, ever cancel you.
True.
Never, ever cancel you. You can cancel them, but they can never, ever, ever cancel you. So there's all the insurance out there, they cancel. If you have health insurance, they can drop you anytime. You don't have to, you can pay a premium, it'll drop you anytime. Car insurance, they can drop you anytime. Hey, we don't want you anymore. Homeowners insurance, especially in Florida, they're dropping people every day, all the time. You don't have to do anything. They can just drop you. Right? There's all the insurance out there. Life is the only life insurance out there that you have that once you prove and you pay the premium every month, they can't drop you.
Yes.
They cannot drop you. So you're 100% in control. Right? And listen, and what's the best way? Now, one thing we always talk, what's the best way to take advantage of that is get as much. I tell people all the time, get as much insurance as you can possibly afford, get as much you can afford, and never cancel. This is how you win the game. Right? Get as much life insurance and never cancel. Why is that? Because the hook is 100% your insurance company. And people, it's crazy. People try, it's the funniest thing in 2070. People always try to do the math. They say, okay, if I'm paying this amount every month, if I pay it, how much am I gonna pay? And is they gonna amount to the coverage, right? And I tell people, and I sit there and I laugh. I'm like, yeah, try it, get a calculator. And I laugh. A lot of times is think of average 30. Let's say you're 40 years old, you get $500,000 of coverage. Let's say you're paying $100 a month. Okay, you have $500,000. You're paying $100 a month. Let's use that for example. $100 a month times 12 months is $1,200. Now, how many years would you have to pay, right, to add up to 500,000?
Exactly.
And if you look at the number, I'm not calculating, but It's hundreds of years. You have to pay for hundreds and hundreds of years to amount to 500,000.
Right.
So if you think about that, who wins here? You're winning. Life insurance is the only insurance out there that the consumer wins in the process. And the challenge is people have number one is here's the mistake that people get. They get the wrong type of coverage. They're paying too much money, and once they get it, they cancel. The reason life insurance companies make the most money, makes a lot of money, because people cancel their coverage.
Right. People are constantly canceling. So they've already accumulated a certain amount of money, and then they just cancel.
They cancel. They want listen. And I tell people all the time, listen, when you cancel life insurance, you're not canceling on the insurance company. You're not canceling on the agent. You're canceling on your family.
Woo! Yep. That's it right there.
You're canceling on. That's what you do. You're canceling on your family. I'm canceling. You're canceling on your family. They want you to cancel. The best thing for you to do is get life for the life insurance company to do, right? Is to get life insurance, pay for a period of time, a year, to whatever it might be, and just cancel.
So good.
They win. See, some of us think, oh my gosh, they're not getting my money anymore. See, they're not thinking they're not getting your money. They're thinking we don't have to pay your family nothing.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, we don't have to pay. Oh, thank God thank God John canceled his cover because let's say when he passed away, we'd have to pay all this money.
Correct.
But because he did, so this is how you win the game. This is how you win the game, right? It's creating like generational wealth, right? And it's crazy, and that has to be what's a nice word, sexy again, to have life insurance coverage, right? It's craziest thing, right? Be sexy.
Yes, let's make it sexy again. Get life insurance, man. Get life.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a shirt. Make life insurance sexy again. I had life insurance sexy again, right?
Seriously.
It's I was thinking.
What is? I mean, for a man to take care of their house and their family. Same, us women. And the thing my husband says, bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Bringing sexy back here in the Army Empire podcast. We're telling everyone, men and women, to get life insurance. Take care of your family and leave a legacy. You
win 100% of the time. You win. When you get life, you have to run and you win. Your family's gonna win. As long as you don't cancel, you keep it, your family is gonna win the process. Okay. Yeah. And that's how you win the game. And it's the craziest thing. If you tell someone, right, listen, I just got a Mercedes-Benz, I'm paying $500 a month and $500 a month, and I'm paying $300 car insurance, right? Hey, oh my gosh, and you posted it, hey man, you're right, on social media. Everybody starts clapping, congratulations, you're awesome, this is beautiful, fire emojis, right? Everything. If you told us, listen, I just got $1 million of life insurance for my family, you hear crickets.
Wow.
You hear crickets. So it's sexier it's better, it's cooler to get a Mercedes than make sure $1 million transferred to your beneficiary. But that's the culture out there, which is challenging, right? So that's one thing we want to make sure you do, create a legacy. Life is the most cost. If it's not to real estate, it's not to, and I always like to give an example. And one of my mentors said something very powerful. He said, listen, a lot of people think they want to get into real estate. They say, oh, I can get to real estate. That's the best way to create wealth, to transfer wealth is to real estate. And then you hear all yes, it's nonsense. Let me share with you why. If I was to leave a $500,000 of home or something like that for beneficiary, number one, if you pass away, number one is you have to pay a mortgage every month. You have to pay a couple $1,000 to maintain, right? Put a lot of money up front to get the house. The second thing if you were to pass away, what would happen is for your beneficiaries to get to get the proceeds, they would have to sell the home.
Correct.
And they would have to try. And sometimes, because if they're desperate, they'll sell it for a lot less. Then guess what? Then it's worth.
Yeah.
Then, different situation, they might have to pay taxes on the gains if it's not set up right.
Correct. And all of that needs to be listed on the will, and you got to make sure all that stuff is correct.
Exactly. And the probate, you have to sometimes, if it's not done right.
If it's not done right, they don't even get it.
Think about it, if you were to get $500,000 of life insurance, right? If someone's paying less, it depends on the age, $80, $100 a month, sometimes less, a little bit more, right? Depends on the age. When you pass away, that $500,000 gets transferred to your beneficiary tax-free instantly. That's it, tax-free instantly. Sometimes I've seen that less than 2-3 weeks. Instantly, right? So think about that, right? That's powerful. So explain to me how is more important. Real estate is more important. It's most costly and more risky. Versus yes, you got to have real estate. That's absolutely, I'm not against that, but you got to make sure life insurance is the best way. If you want to transfer wealth, life insurance does it tax-free. If you get $1 million, listen, I have close to $2 million of life insurance. And listen, we hope we live for a long time. But if something happens to me, that's $2 million transferred to the beneficiary. My wife, the kids, right? And even grants. It's right. It's tax-free. Tax-free. And I think people have to start thinking about that, right?
So good.
So let's look at the next one. Well, how much life insurance somebody needs? Well, people say, well, how much do I need? Very, very simple. There's a formula called DIME, D-I-M, that tells you how much life insurance somebody needs, right? D stands for, let's call it death. So, for example, is let's say you would see, okay, this is DIME, right? Then you put death, like average funeral costs $10,000. So you put $10,000, right, of life insurance, right? You put that amount. The second is the experts recommend you have between 7 to 10 times your annual income and protection. So if someone's making $50,000 a year, right? 50 times 7 is 350. 50 times 10 is 500,000. You put 500,000 or 350,000 or 500,000. You can have that set up right now. And we ask very quick, listen, if something happened, you God forbid, would you like your mortgage to be paid? They might say, yes, I will make sure the mortgage paid, right? And you can put the amount of balance you have left on the mortgage. And the good thing about that, you can customize your life insurance. And some companies, I know we do that. I customize life insurance where someone has mortgage. Let's say they have 20 years on a mortgage or something like that. I don't give them a whole 30 years. I put the amount of money they own a mortgage, right, for only 20 years. So after the mortgage is paid off, they really don't need that coverage anymore. You can customize it. E stands for education. Someone has young kids. They want to make sure if something happens, God forbid, that you still want your kids to go to college, have something set up. Yes, absolutely. So they could have a certain amount of money. Something happens, the kids will go to college, right? So you can actually customize your protection to cover some of these things, right? And you can have a time frame. You can have different terms, like let's 20 years of mortgage, right? The kids are 10. They should be by the time they're 20, right? So you can have a 10-year term attached to the policy for the amount of you want towards the kids' education, right? And that's taken. So you can customize the coverages. So after that responsibility is not there, you really don't need the coverage anymore because responsibility is taken care of. Okay, so you can customize your coverage that way, right? So great. Absolutely, right? So that tells you how much life insurance somebody needs. And if you look for most people, average death claim that's paid out there is less than 70 or 80,000. And average, it's less 80 to 100,000. That's average claim that's policy out there that's getting paid out, death benefit. So what does that tell you? That means people are under protected. If you ask most people to do that, like put your numbers there, I tell you, most people are way, probably 95 to 96% of people are way underinsured. Way underinsured. And people don't ask those questions. Why? And let me tell you why. It goes back to our past episodes. Most life insurance agents and companies selling people the wrong crap, the wrong stuff, where people like fancy policy have fancy names. We talked about it. That wrong, that not enough coverage. They're leaving families vulnerable out there. And sometimes they're selling life insurance. Like, listen, but in 20, 30 years, you'll have this much. The reason we get life insurance because something happens right now.
Right.
You need to tell me I'm paying for life insurance, and the only benefit I have is I have to live for 30 years to maybe it might benefit me. Explain to me, how does that make sense?
Yeah, I like what my husband says. It's like using a face cloth after a shower. It's not enough coverage.
It's not. It's not. Most people don't have enough. And this is why I'm very passionate out there that people are getting hurt, and it's wrong. And I have no respect for them. I hate to sound, because I've seen families getting devastated. I've seen things not doing the right thing. Not doing the right thing, putting yourself and putting families in jeopardy and praying some, right? Listen, I've never, and I was talking to someone, I've never put a plan on someone, give a policy, and felt like, oh my gosh, did I do the right thing for them? The only question I always ask is, I should have given them more coverage. That family needed more coverage. That's the only question I have. Maybe we could have got more coverage, because that person's responsibilities, right? Now, a lot of times people say, well, Bernard, this is how much someone needs, but this is how much you can comfortably afford. So while we try to get people as close as possible at the coverage they need, at the price you can comfortably afford. And one thing I'll tell people up front, listen, we don't want you to get life that you can't, oh my gosh, I'm not going to eat. No, that's not the goal. We want you to get as much as you can comfortably get. As much as you can comfortably get at the price you can comfortably afford.
So good.
As much as you can get. So maybe you need this much, you can get as much as you get. And I tell people, it's better to get more and reduce it if, let's say, you're challenged, than get less and try to increase it. But say, well, can I increase it? I tell you, it's better to get more and decrease it if you need to, versus getting less and try to increase it. Because what happens is, if you start too low, every time you try to increase life insurance, you have to show proof of insurability. That means they have to do a medical, see if you're healthy again. Right? Sometimes our bodies are not made to get healthier. I mean, unfortunately, right? So it's better to decrease than increase. It's easier. So get as much as you can get, then reduce it than anything else.
I'm sure that's another point that a lot of us in the general public do not know.
Yes, absolutely. So it's better to do it that way. And I've never heard someone pass away say, "Oh my gosh, they had too much coverage."
Yeah,
too much. We had too much. I've never heard, but I've seen, oh my gosh, we didn't have enough. We didn't have enough. That's not enough. And I'm very passionate and I'm very driven to make sure people have the right amount of coverage, get the right plan at the right cost, get the right amount of coverage, and using life insurance in an effective way. Yes, I am the industry. Yes, I work in the industry. I work in the financial field. But my perspective is, I want to show people there's a difference between a life insurance agent and a life insurance coach. And there's a difference. A life insurance agent, where most people deal with, sell you a policy so that they can benefit and the insurance company can benefit. What a life insurance coach shows you how to use life insurance in an effective way so that you can win the money game for your family, not the insurance company.
Correct.
I educate families to make sure they use life insurance in an effective way so that they win. They win. Their family wins. That's my perspective, and that's what I'm passionate about. And this is why we're sharing this with families, so people make the right choices for their family and make sure they leave a legacy for your family. Because guess what happens? People pass away twice sometimes. When they pass away, number one, the physical, when they do pass away, and the second thing is people forget about them. People forget about them.
Remembering.
Right? Whenever you leave something for the family, they never, ever, ever forget you.
That is so true. And that's why we love you so much, Coach. I'm telling you, he's not an agent. He's a coach here. And because of that mindset that you have, your passion, your compassion, because you're compassionate and that's who you want. That's why we put down, scrolling below, his email address. Make him your financial coach. Contact him today. Send Bernard an email. Ask him the questions that you've been wanting to ask somebody.
Yes, absolutely. Send me a quick call. Listen, send me email, right? And I'll call you. We'll talk more, and we'll get together, and we'll see what works, and we'll look at the protection, and we take an educational approach of everything, like what we talk about, and we'll customize something for you that you can benefit from.
So good. All right, Coach, we did it again. Another episode down.
Yes, absolutely.
We have
on our way to 100.
We are on our way to 100. Yes, we will. We're talking about next year, probably around this time. Isn't that crazy?
Halfway there, right? Yep.
That's the goal, my friend. That is the goal. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. For those watching on Instagram, I see you here, Jen. I saw that you jumped on. And for those watching on Facebook and Instagram, we will see you again next week, next Tuesday at this exact same time, 8 o'clock. Jump on for 20 to 30 minutes of free financial information that then you can have intentional conversations with your spouse, with your family, and reach out to Bernard and have a conversation. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
See you again soon. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.